My parents would bring me to New York occasionally, and I would sit, you know, I was this high, and I'd put my head on the seat in front of me and just
I
laugh
started
at
acting
all
in school. I started acting when I was in 4th grade,
And I think the reason that I act is because I love
the only thing I
to
could do.
inspire people and astonish people.
Began acting. I had no thoughts of trying to be a star. I wanted to be a working actor and acting.
It was a bit like running away with the circus.
Just to get out of South Carolina and be able to move
I think as a little girl, I dreamed of being a movie star.
Write my own stuff.
My dream
Produce
is
it.
to be remembered and revered for the work I've done.
My dream is to make a living.
Where I would never have to worry about money, and I could do only Shakespeare.
To die with my boots on stage.
I want to be an old man actor, and I want to have been a young man actor.
I think a lot of people actually have this dream to be in a Broadway musical and won't admit it.
To be on Broadway.
On Broadway.
I want Broadway.
My dream role is Blanche Dubois, Streetcar Named Desire, Tennessee Williams.
I love to pretend and I love to feel.
I mean, applause is great.
Touch people and to lift their spirits.
I love being big, I love talking loud.
And I would like to have a production company or a
Find something about myself that I can bring to my work.
I want to be on a sitcom.
My dream, I think, is to be a working actor when I'm 80.
I was a nobody most of my life. I've only been a somebody lately.
Things are so good right now, but it could all very easily come to an end.
If I could make a living off of acting, I'd be very happy.
85% of the work is the auditioning. Auditions and auditions, tons of them.
Being an understudy is so frustrating because you may never go on.
I'm going on.
City Arts is made possible by Dorothy and Louis Coleman and the Lester T. Mertz Charitable Trust. Funding is also provided by Sylvia and Ralph Ablon, the Marilyn M. Simpson Trust, and the Michael and Helen Schaefer Foundation. Additional funding is provided by public funds from the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs through the Cultural Challenge Program and the members of 13.
So much of being an actor is so wanting to be a special person, so wanting to be noticed and wanting to be, to have a certain kind of attention.
To be a part of people's memory, you know? To have that power to touch people and to lift their spirits.
You are special and extraordinary, and I still think that's why actors act to feel extraordinary.
Hearing the audience, the intake of breath, that's probably one of the things that got me in the first place.
And plus, there's a lot of people looking at you and paying attention to you.
But the fact remains that somebody has to tap you on the shoulder and say, okay, pal, this is your job, you know, you get to do this now.
Most actors hate to audition, and that's a really interesting thing to me because I really enjoy it. I think it's fun, and I will tell you, 11 times out of 10, I don't get the part. I mean, that's just the way it is.
I feel that I can do almost anything, within limits. And how do you convince them? You know, how do you convince them?
Can you ride a horse? I says, can I ride a horse? Forget about it. My grandfather had a ranch up in Pennsylvania. Now, my grandfather doesn't have a ranch in Pennsylvania. I don't even have a grandfather.
The worst feeling is that you don't have any control and you don't know exactly what they're looking for.
I auditioned for Dreamgirls. I had no idea that this was totally inappropriate, and they sent me home.
Sometimes it just doesn't happen. You go into the room, you did your preparation, and it doesn't come out, or it lays flat. I've had people yawn in my face.
You've got to stick with it, because it's a tough, tough record.
have a relationship with the street as an actor here, where you're just sort of pounding pavement all the time and looking for work all the time. 85% of the work is the auditioning. Auditions and auditions, tons of them, but it doesn't pay yet, you know? Now I'm on my way to an audition for The Importance of Being Earnest. And I'm auditioning for the role of Cecily, and found out about it yesterday, and it means I have to have an English accent.
Laura?
Yes, yes, thank you. Hi, I'm Laura. Sarah, nice to meet you.
Are there many interesting walks in the vicinity, Miss Cardew?
Oh yes, yes, great many. From one of the top of one of the hills close, one can see about 5 counties.
Quite a well-kept garden this is, Miss Cardew.
Oh, I'm glad you like it, Miss Fairfax.
I had no idea there were any flowers in the country.
Oh, flowers are as common, Miss Fairfax, as people are in London.
Good, good, good. Can we try it again?
Yes, let's try it again.
From the beginning,
Yes.
I don't think you have to worry about being quite so arch with her.
Okay.
But you know, very well bred,
Okay.
excellent posture.
Right.
Let's try it again.
The country always bores me to death.
Oh. That is what the newspapers call agricultural depression. It seems to me, Miss Fairfax, that I'm trespassing on your valuable time. No doubt you have many other calls of a similar character to make in the neighborhood.
Very nice.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you so much.
I'll show up.
Thank you. He gave me direction, that's a good thing, but... that audition felt a little rough. I don't know. It'd be such a good part to get. But it's like, you get about a day, you know, you get about a day's notice with the material, and so you're going through it and you're making choices as quickly as you can, and you just kind of, you know, if they're not right, they're not right. I don't know. And then you have to deal with that nervous energy when you go in there. And I don't know. He was good, though. He gave me some direction. I love that when they do that, so you get a chance to make an adjustment. It's just whether or not you're too nervous to, like, hear it or not, you know? Anyway, this is MCC Theater. It's a great place. Should I give you a little tour? Hey.
Okay, so now.
MCC Theater is an off-Broadway theater in Chelsea, and they do up to 3 or 4 shows a year. And I started out interning.
Sort them alphabetically for me.
Last name.
And get that one done, and then I'll have about 16 gazillion other things for you. Thanks, Laura.
You're welcome. It's sort of part of the agreement with Bob's class is that you come in and you volunteer for the theater, and then the class is free. It's great about it.
And the fact of the matter is, this is a great challenge for all of us, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
And you become aware of what you do, you know?
Bob Lapone started the class last April, and it's only about 10 of us who, like myself, have either an internship there or some relationship to MCC Theater. And he took us on and just started working the Meisner technique. We haven't really been working on scenes specifically. Normally, we're in the classroom just doing repetition. I'm not apologizing.
Yes, you are.
I'm not apologizing.
Okay, you're not apologizing.
I'm not apologizing.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit.
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 Look at the moon, Vinny. Isn't it beautiful?
What?
What? Look at it.
I'm looking at it.
When I was a kid, I used to think there were little houses on the moon with people in them, looking at the Earth, thinking the same thing.
That's funny. When I was a kid, I used to think the moon was made out of cheese.
See. Okay, now, tell me, professionals that you are, tell me what you learned from that little tidbit about yourselves as actors and about the material that you're working with.
I don't know where to look.
You know?
I was like floundering out here because I couldn't look at them.
Because what you thought while you were doing the material, right, and what we saw, diametrically opposed.
Now it feels like a network of about 25 people who are like myself going out on auditions. So then you just start talking, and you start talking about the auditions you hear about, you know, and you say, I think this might really be right for you. You should go in, meet this casting director. There's very lateral relationships that you build. As long as you're not too competitive with other people at your level, you know, you can really help each other out. That relationship with the theater has been everything for me, you know. That's how I've tapped into the industry, as well as the craft of it. I found a headshot photographer one night when I was cocktail waitressing. I served him a drink, and he was interested in taking some pictures.
Put your head more this way a little bit. There you go. Lift your chin a little bit. Good.
And you never know. You know, when you're cocktail waitressing, you have to be a little bit careful. But I gave him my postcard, which I had, which is just an actor, another tool that you hand out.
Very good. Very good.
There's something that's said through the eyes. If the eyes are alive, it makes it interesting to look at. But I want to show you these headshots. So I took the contact sheet and I asked for advice from a bunch of different people who know what you need in a headshot.
When you come in, I think they want to see you. They would like you to be true, or your picture to be true to who you are when you come in the door. We've looked them over. This is the one that we like.
Okay.
And we like it because we really believe that this is who you are. Good. It shows you off. It says this is Laura. It's it's friendly. It's neutral. It doesn't suggest that you can only do just one thing or one kind of character.
The picture that I've chosen, it's a little bit too vampy, you know, but I like it because it's got some personality.
I have an appointment for you tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Part of what the agents do when they put you in touch with these casting directors is really just to go in and meet them. So it's good. It's a good chance to go in. They'll see me again. Plus, these casting guys, they'll probably cast a bunch of stuff this spring. So if I'm not right for this project, hopefully they'll like me enough to invite me in for something else, you know?
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I'm going into the opposite sex audition. I've been really nervous in some auditions. I'm communicating a lot of nervous energy. I know that. One of the agents, she gave me a whole bunch of pointers like, don't wear black, don't wear white. Be enthusiastic when you give your slate. It's a whole other art form. A lot of people say it's not even acting at all. It's just giving a good first impression and really selling yourself.
Laura?
Hi. I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, they called me. No, that's okay. I mean, you know.
It went all right. We read through it once, and then he gave me some notes. He wanted her to be a little bit more flirtatious, he said, and so we tried it again. I took the adjustment. You try to get direction, hear the direction, and then be able to do it right there. So I think I gave him back what he wanted, but it's hard to know, you know? Having friends who are in the industry is really important because they understand rejection. People who aren't in it don't understand that it's really hard. It's really hard to get a callback. It's really hard to get cast. You can intellectualize it, you can whatever, but there's a very emotional feeling of, man, am I gonna get work this year? Am I gonna start paying my rent with this? And that's kind of scary.
It's hard because it's one rejection and there's another rejection, and it gets difficult, you know, and you can't get down on yourself, you know. You have to say, hey, well, it wasn't right for them, or who knows.
How do I cope with rejection? I cry, I eat, I call my friends.
I curl up in a fetal position on my bed.
3 martinis. That helps.
I embrace the rejection because I learn from it each time what I can do better, how I can change this, what I won't do the next time, and get over it.
You got to figure out a way to let go of obsessing about rejection, because there is a lot of it. There's nothing to do about it.
All of us
still deal with it on a regular basis. You know, it does not matter. 3 Tonys means nothing. You're still going to get rejected time and time again, you know.
Every actor will always be too fat, too thin, too young, too old, too pretty, too plain. You know, I've been called all those things. You know, one week I lose a job because I'm too old, the next week I lose a job because I'm too young.
I'm just getting to the point now in my life where rejection is not taken personally, although every once in a while that one thing catches you where you have put so much of your heart into something and so much of a knowledge in your mind that it is the right thing for you. And when it doesn't happen, it can be really, really sad.
Once you get through the pain and not understanding it, I try to realize that it's because there's something better down the road.
You cry real hard and then realize it's just a play, and you're young and you have your health, and it's time to move on to the next one, because that's where you're going to learn, on the next one.
I had originally auditioned for Killer Joe when they were casting the production. When it came time for rehearsals to start and they needed understudies, my agent submitted my name and they took me. It's really like the next step along the way to becoming a professional actor. In our production, the understudies are also the stage crew. It's sort of a glass is half empty or half full situation. You can look at it like, I have this great theater job and this is so exciting. Or you can think, so close but so far away.
You never even been on a real date. It ain't a thing.
It's excruciating to sit backstage.
That kid who didn't even know it. What's that kid? Give me the keys. I gotta go to work.
It's so frustrating because you may never go on.
You should go out more often.
Even though I have this job, I just went on a dance call for a print ad.
Keep your body in a profile, but look at us and smile.
Because you never want to stop looking for future opportunities.
From there, you're going to roll out.
You're great.
Thanks, man. So we work at night and we go on auditions during the day.
Hey, Mary, this is Richard at the theater. Look, Bruce can't go on tonight, so you're going to have to go on. So as soon as you can, give me a call and come on down to the theater, okay? See ya.
I'm going on.
Was that your boyfriend on the phone?
What do you mean?
Wasn't that your boyfriend? I'm married, silly. Is he cute? Stop talking about it. I hope he's cute. You should have a cute boyfriend. Listen. I had a boyfriend once, in the 3rd grade. His name was Marshall, and he was fat, but he loved me. You skipped. Oh. I'm sorry. Okay, start again.
Oh, yeah.
I experienced a panic attack like I have never had in my life.
Was that your boyfriend on the phone?
What do you mean?
Wasn't that your boyfriend?
What? I'm married, silly.
I won't tell Daddy.
I don't know what you're talking about. That was my friend Jenny from high school.
Is he cute?
Stop talking like
I
that.
hope he's cute. You should have a cute boyfriend.
Listen,
I had a boyfriend once in the 3rd grade, but I never told nobody. His name was Marshall, and he was fat, but he loved me.
you should go out more often.
Then it was over, and I'm just like, wow, this is it. This is what I just did it. It was unbelievable. And then the show's over, and you're doing the laundry. once you actually do go on and get that great opportunity and have a good experience, it really makes you hungrier than you were before to do the role, to actually get a role that's your own and not somebody else's that you're just filling in for.
I think we all just want good roles and to be, be able to be appreciated for that, for the work, and to work with good people, and to work on good material, and to be able to survive.
Whenever you get to a new space, a new high in your career, you will always, I find, look to the next rung on the ladder.
There's always this sort of nagging dissatisfaction. There's never really any satisfaction, deep satisfaction, if you're really an artist, because you're always striving for, that was okay, that was good, that was even pretty good, but I know it could be better, or it could be more.
You're never really content. It's just one of those things as you get older, you just sort of accept it. It's just kind of the strange, annoying yearning that's constantly inside you about either it's wanting to make the play you're doing at the present time better, or either it's you want to be doing, something, some kind of better material, or there's always this kind of, and then also just the general pressures of just trying to get a job,
Your big thing is I've got to get my SAG card. If I could just get my SAG card, then I could get an agent. So you get your SAG card somehow, you get it. Now, if I could just get that, they get the agent. Now, if I could just get one line and One Life to Live, that will make my life. And so you get one line and One Life to Live. Now, if I could just get a whole scene and All My Children, my life, and then you get the one scene and All My Children, and then gradually it keeps going like that. If I could just be the lead in a B-grade movie, and then you're the lead in a B-grade movie, and then all of a sudden it's like, how do I get Scorsese to direct my movie? It goes all, no matter what level you're at, you have problems. But somebody once said this to me, yes, but as you go up the ladder, you just have classier sets of problems.
What is thy name?
I'll be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou callst thyself a hotter name than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
I just came to New York last May, and I just got my first theater gig with Theater for New Audience's production of Macbeth.
This process that I'm in now with Macbeth is a learning process, and I hope that my work as an actor always does include a process of learning.
Yes, well.
But as we had the fight now, we were kind of playing with the idea of, my coming in, Hotspur-like in a sense, going, "Rah!" And then finding out that he's Macbeth and freaking out. Kind of what I'm trying to find is how to make the little character's presence known. I'm playing two roles. One of them is Fleance, who is Banquo's son, and the other is young Seward, who comes out at the end. What is thy name?
Don't be afraid here.
No, though thou callst thyself a hotter name than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The only scene that I really have where I even talk is the scene where I face off with Macbeth. Are we doing this? Okay. You always wish that you had more to do. But you also start somewhere.
I'm on my way to the Actors Equity Association, which is the union for stage actors. I need to fill out an membership application form. Since this production of Macbeth is an equity show, I have joined the union.
Front and back. And that's a great thing. It's important to be kind of backed by the big guys.
I'm official as soon as my dues get paid.
I wasn't really hot about the idea of moving to New York because of the whole survival aspect. I'm just over, I think, that initial period of adjustment where everything's just so overwhelming. Cost of living's unbelievable.
これ締め切りは?
できるだけ早く.
I work as a translator for a law firm. And I translate
Japanese to English, English to Japanese. We rehearse from Tuesday through Sunday. Ron's vision of this play is very much ensemble-oriented, which I like. It's nice when you're a small part and you get to be included in the story. It's very exciting to see discovery happen in the rehearsal space.
Speakers, tell me more. By Sinnel's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Corner, the Thane of Corner, lives? A prosperous gentleman, Anthony King, stands not within the prospect of belief. No more lives to be Corner.
I'm glad to be the little brother of the cast. The comments are like, "You're the new kid, you know, you'll soon learn." You know, that's fine. I mean, I want to be learning, and I don't want to pretend to be at a place that I'm not.
That trusted home might yet enkindle you into the crown, besides the Thane of Corner.
Bill and Reg, who are, you know, the more experienced, established actors,
and oftentimes
they have a lot to offer, particularly in seeing the ease that they bring to the rehearsal process.
Betray us in deepest consequence.
You know, it's great that I can just go hang out with them on dinner break or something and just chat and talk about things.
My first job was in the park.
Oh, really?
I played, you know, the famous part in 12th Night of the waiter. You know, I gave him like a hip dysplasia problem. I was standing next to the director after a show, and someone came up to him and said, "It's so great that you hire handicapped people." You little...
When I first came here, I was just so happy to be a working actor in New York, man. And I was proud of being wild and this, like, intense actor, artist, wild man, stay up all night doing drugs and then come in and, like, act my ass off and curse out people who didn't like it. And how do you find auditioning?
I actually like it. It's like one of the very few opportunities I have to do some work in front of somebody, because I'm not performing all the time, you know?
See, it's funny, because when I first came out, I enjoyed the fact that I didn't know these people, that they were strangers. But then I got to the point where...
You started knowing them.
Well, no. I realized that they're, like, mostly stupid. That for a lot of stuff that you audition for, that they're morons in charge.
You're talking about the tools you learn in school don't start to really kick in until 2 or 3 years down the line, and the whole point of having technique is that they're second nature to you, so that when it happens, it kicks in.
To me, technique means when you get derailed, how do you get back on?
It's hard. And it's good that it's hard. You want it to be hard. You can go to L.A. and there's nothing difficult in L.A. I mean, you'll get so excited about going in for like an ER, and maybe you get to be a victim, or you get to be a victim's family member, and the most difficult thing is, oh my God, tell me, is she gonna live? And cut.
For a lot of years, I didn't really audition that much for TV and movies, you know, just because essentially I wanted to do theater. And that's really all I wanted to.
And now you're broke, so you want
Well, I've always been broke, but now I'm just older and broke.
And older and broke, believe me, pal, is not as much fun as young and broke. Older and broke is a drag.
So,
it's a deep thing to be old and broke. I wanted to be a household name. Now I don't want that. I just want money. Lots of money. Then I can afford to do like weirdo avant-garde theater.
Like you were saying, like household name. That's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that really that one has to be ashamed of, because it's a symptom, you know, how we're brought up.
Right. In a celebrity culture.
You know, our culture is so geared on status and celebrity. Yeah.
If I can make a living, I mean really make a living off of acting, I'd be very happy.
What is thy name? Be afraid to hear it. No, for thou callest thyself a hotter name than any is in hell. My name's
being a part of this show, maybe it's not a break of sorts so much as it is a great starting point. I know that a lot of people don't get this kind of starting opportunity.
If you can't get seen, then you're not going to get the jobs. You're not going to get the jobs that will expose. So if you don't, because one thing leads to another, you know.
There's a sort of a conception that you need a break. You know, all you need is one break. And you don't. You need, you know, there are many little breaks along the way towards what's considered to be the one break.
In equity, there's 92% unemployment. That means 8% of the actors are working all the time. And, you know, it's just, there's not enough jobs, you know?
You don't want to be on the bench. You don't want to be sitting on the shelf. I can't act in my living room, you know? I have to have a place to do it. I have to have people. I have to have someone. I have to have material to do.
There's so many discouraging things that are going to happen to you. If you don't, number one, love what you are searching for, and if you do not have the persistence to keep at it, to keep going and moving in that direction, then chances are you're not going to be able to achieve anything in the theater.
It's all about just persevering little by little. And the people that do eventually rise up to the top. But, oh, you know, man, there have been so many times when I wanted to throw in the towel.
You know, you have no idea who you meet or what little thing can maybe 3-4 years down the road lead directly to a job.
If you're good and you keep working, you're going to get better and you're going to get attention.
Why does anyone pursue something in the arts? Because it is truly insane on some level. But of all the things I've tried in all my years of living, it seems to be the time that I feel most like I know what I'm here for. Thank you very much. For years, when I was waitressing and taking any job I could, my motto was to just say yes to anything that came my way. It was about just showing up, doing any play, any film, any student film, any low-budget thing, anything I could get my hands on, because the acting part is what I loved.
No one notices what your father does to me, but when I get upset, you all think Terry's gone crazy.
I've got Sideman, which is sort of an open-ended run. And I've got Oz, which has been picked up for another 8 episodes, which we're shooting now.
Tony, she's right. We can't keep driving in this. I can hardly see in front of us here.
Sopranos has been picked up for, I think, 13 or 15.
I think it's Walnut Parkway.
Give me one more time.
Theoretically, I'm booked until the end of this year, at the very least, but it could all very easily come to an end. I've never known this feeling. You know, I've been living hand to mouth for all my years of supporting myself, certainly. Come on, Bubba. There's so much luck involved in this, you know. There are some really wonderfully talented people out there who just don't get the opportunities that I got.
Marley, ease up, honey.
I went to school at SUNY Purchase, and I met a lot of people there that I have worked with since. Hal Hartley, Nick Gomez, among the more well-known ones. I didn't realize at the time how long-term these relationships would be and how helpful throughout the years. So.
I give you a long and a nice
Nick Gomez was an editor on Trust, Hal Hartley's second movie, and said to me, I want to make this movie, it's handheld, there's going to be a lot of improv, and I thought, oh my God. And all I thought was, I can't take the time off my waitressing shift, but as was my credo at the time, you know, you say no to nothing, so I did this strange improv thing that everybody saw and everybody liked.
I do whatever you do. I go where you go. I do what you do.
Come on, you're my wife. You're classy. You're wonderful. I love
I
you.
go where he goes.
What?
I do what he does.
I thought the cast was extraordinary, and particularly loved Edie because she just does it. She just approaches the role with a kind of simplicity and an honesty that then becomes riveting.
Forgive me, please.
Forgive you. Okay, I forgive you. I forgive you. You forgave me, we're even.
I wrote the part of Diane on Oz for Edie Falco because I knew that she would come at it in her own very unique way. She doesn't add anything other than herself and the honesty of her performances.
Cut! Cut! Action, let's move a little faster.
writing is great, and the other actors are great. And so I'm doing Oz and I'm doing Sopranos right now, which is an opportunity that most people don't get, to do 2 shows that I'm proud of.
I wanted this house. Wanted money in my hands. Money to buy anything I ever wanted. I'm so ashamed.
In film, it's more challenging because you go up there and you are very rarely rehearsed, rehearsed enough.
My husband, I think he has committed horrible acts. You know all about him, Father Phil?
With Sideman, it's the most lovely thing because of the rehearsal that has gone into it. All I have to do really is show up, put on the outfit, look at myself, go out there, and it happens for you. It absolutely just happens for you because the work was done a long time ago.
Edie, to me, is a natural. A good actor sort of channels the part, becomes the part instead of... I never think she's acting. I just think she's become Terry, and it's quite a thrill.
BLT, please, whiskey now!
Cherry butter, please, not grease, thank you. Oh, that prick at table 6 is waving for you.
He tries to cop a feel every time I refill his coffee.
I have no idea how I do this. I don't, you read the part, you see who the other actors are, you talk to the director a bit, and then you just do it. You show up relaxed, having eaten a good breakfast, gotten enough sleep, and you see what comes. I think the biggest challenge right now is to remind myself, a little more than a year ago, I lived in a 5th floor walk-up with no kitchen. I cooked on a hot plate, and I lived like that for years and years and years. And I did put in my time, but things are so good right now. I feel a little bit like a proud parent to myself, a little bit, like a little pat on the back at those moments, like you stuck it through, you did it. You hung in there, and you didn't give up. And there are a million times you could have turned your back on this, but this is the reward right now.
I think I had very romantic ideas of what it would be like to be on Broadway, and what would my dressing room be like, and what would it be like to pull that stage door open and see my name on the marquee and walk. And what is surprising is there's nothing terribly romantic about it. And it's actually sort of more beautiful and sort of great than I imagined that it could be.
When I'm on stage in front of the audience, it's out of time. It's timeless. It's transcendental. Time. When it's in its best form, time goes by and you're like, wow, the show's over.
It's when I feel most alive. It's what I love the most in the world, and I have. When I hit the boards, it's what keeps me going is the desire to be nowhere else.
I enjoy acting so much that when I leave my apartment to come over here and do the show, I'm looking forward to it. I've always wanted to be an actor, and I've always been told that I shouldn't be an actor because I won't work, and I'm working. I've never missed performances for being ill for 18 years.
Oh, howdy. How are you, sir?
How are you, sir? We're not paid a huge amount of money because we're off Broadway in a little theater.
Good.
I'm surviving. But then again, we know we have a job every week, 52 weeks a year. I reached a point, probably about 15 years ago, that I just had had enough of living in hotel rooms and, eating dreadful food and all of those things. And I had the chance to be here in the city to have a regular life. I've been happy that I've had this work.
5 minutes. 5 minutes, please. Thank you. Okay, you're in this row all the way down to the 4th and 5th seats.
When I came to the role of Henry, I had 25 years experience going in on Henry, acting. I have explored and worked with and used so many possibilities that I believe I'm able to cull and present the best that I can do with what I've got.
Okay, places, please. Places.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 16,091st performance of The Fantastic.
The Fantastics has a simple story which any person can relate to.
Stop. Time is rushing and a major production to do.
I need actors, extra actors, to stage my elaborate abduction.
Sir, the players have arrived!
I bring to the part of Henry the joy of entertaining the audience because he's an actor and I'm an actor.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's it. That's the whole trick. Try to see me under light. I ratata. Don't do that.
One of the joys of acting is I think you can continue to be a child up until your 61st year. Let's Pretend is considered a child's game, but it's my life.
Remove 10 pounds of road dust from these aged, wrinkled cheeks.
I not yet have reached the point that poor old Henry has of, you know, not being able to hoist myself up onto a bench. But I can well understand where he's coming from there.
Like the whiskers of a bear.
He's a survivor.
I am Henry Albertson. Perhaps you recall my Hamlet. Of course. You remember. Would you like to see the clippings?
I didn't do Hamlet, and I didn't do Romeo, and some of them. I might still do a Lear, you never know.
Watch this. Friends, Romans, countrymen, screw your courage to the sticking place.
I always feel like I'm growing into my part. The young people in our show are growing out of their parts while I'm growing into mine. I don't have to do the makeup that I had to do 19 years ago.
Why doth the drum come hither?
I think you would never find anyone who would say, don't you wish you had done better? Everyone's going to say yes. Of course I do. Everyone wants to do better.
Remember, Mortimer, there are no small actors, only small parts. Remember me in light.
I'm able to do what I would do for free and be paid for it, which to me is sort of a miracle, and therefore perhaps you could say I'm successful by that degree.
I think success just basically means being able to make a living at theater, which is actually really, really hard.
The level I'm at right now, I'm totally comfortable with. I like riding the subway, and I like maybe one person a day saying, not even I like your work, but, you know, didn't I go to school with you, or some other kind of vague recognition.
There might have been some people who would have had my earlier career and would have gotten frustrated because they wanted more, because they wanted to be famous or whatever, and would have left because it wasn't enough for them. For me, it was never a matter about getting famous. It was about being able to do good work with good people.
Seeing your name in print when you finally have a play that you've been the original cast on gets published, and you're like in a book, that's kind of neat. I mean, in your program it's nice too, but when it's in like a hardcover, ooh.
There's things that I think, you know, should have happened and I hope will happen. People I want to work with, material I want to do that I just haven't been, you know, haven't had the opportunity to do yet.
And no matter who you are, your career will go in cycles. You'll be hot, you won't be, you'll be hot again. I mean, you look at actors, the ones that have hung around. Every single actor that hung around, has many dogs in their closet in terms of bad movies, but they survived it. They survived it. They believed in themselves and they survived it. And I think that's the key to it.
Everybody always dreams about these things, but once you get to a certain age, you really You know, it seems increasingly unlikely that it's going to happen, but I'm delighted that it did happen, and I'm having a good time, and it's a great part, and that's enough.
Why am I always being contradicted?
Well, I thought it would be a surprise.
Why don't you open a window in here? For God's sake.
They're all open,
The way
dear.
they boxed us in here. Bricks and windows. Windows and bricks.
We should have bought the land next door.
Bricks lined with cars. Not a breath of fresh air in the neighborhood. The grass don't grow anymore. You can't raise a carrot in the backyard. They should have had a law against apartment houses.
It is the great American role. It's the American leer.
This time of year, it's lilac. Wisteria. Then the peonies would come out. And daffodils. What fragrance in this room.
Well, after all, people had to move somewhere.
Oh, no, there's more people now.
I don't think there's more people.
There's more people.
Willie Loman is a father and a salesman who is exhausted. His career is just about over, and he's having some kind of mental breakdown.
Boarding ship in an hour. Wanted to say goodbye. And I gotta talk to you. Haven't the time, will you? And nothing's working out. I don't know what to do. And look here, Willie. I bought timberland in Alaska. And I need a man to look after things for me. Timberland.
I've always been a kind of a journeyman actor, and finally Willie Loman is playing Willie Loman. When I decided that I was going to try to be an actor, I had 3 kids and a family, and had to take care of them. So I always had some form of disposable job. Waiter, bartender. I worked in Wall Street for a while. Drove a cab. Sometimes 3 or 4 jobs at the same time. And I didn't have the luxury of study because I was otherwise occupied. So I just made auditions. Ted Story had a little theater company called the Impossible Ragtime Theater. And they did a production of Ivanov. This would have been in 72, 73, something like that. And I played Borkin. Mel Gusso came, New York Times, gave me, in particular, a good review. Some agents came and things began to happen. From those little ripples, the whole thing starts. I've been fortunate enough to be able to do things in the theater, very challenging, very demanding things that I have not been able to do in movies for the most part. You know, I mean, there are an awful lot of people over the years who said, but you just don't look like an actor. What do you mean you're an actor? You're not an actor. Kevin Kline is an actor. You're not an actor. And who can say they're wrong? The great thing that I have is this great passion for what I do. There's no way to play this part without having this passionate commitment to it.
You want a job?
I got a job. I told you that. What the hell are you offering me a job for?
Don't get insulted.
Well, don't insult.
I don't see no sense in it. You don't have to go on.
I got a good job.
The theater has given me the opportunity to do what it is that I really care about, which is to take an audience and shake it up and turn it inside out and say, okay, let's look at your life.
Just what I am. That's all. Why is he crying? He cried to me. Boy. That boy is going to be magnificent.
What meaning does it have to you? And how does your feeling about yourself change as a result of what you're seeing tonight? I was a nobody most of my life. So I've only been a somebody lately. You know, 6 months from now, it's somebody else. And that's the way it should be. Being able to play this part every night is like a great gift. And that's the goal, is to do a good job every time I do it, and we just do it.
I wanted to be a missionary or an actor. Of course, my parents wanted me to be a missionary, but I said it's the same thing. I've got a lot of women inside of me, an awful lot of voices and women inside of me, and this is the finest way of expressing it.
I am so inarticulate, and yet when I speak O'Neill or Shaw or Shakespeare, suddenly I have wings. And I think that's the bottom line that's the passion of acting for me.
And it is a drug, it is an addiction. I think something chemical happens in your body when you get a laugh, when you make people cry, when you realize it's landing. It's a drug, especially the live theater. And I think you get that high, and you need it more and more, and you've got to have it. And it's a great drug.
It's fun. It's a really good fun job, and you get to live many different lives during your one life, you know. And you get to have a sort of taste of what other people's lives might be like, you know. And you get to get up late and meet girls, which is why I got into it in the first place.
Come on along and listen.
You are such an asshole.
Is this a problem, me not living here?
This is a bad idea.
So you're admitting that we do like each other?
I'm related. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. I have shucked my status as an understudy temporarily. Well, no, permanently. At least for this show. That's me. I gotta go call my mom.
Manhattan babies don't sleep tight until the dawn. Good night, baby. Good night. Milkman's on his way. Sleep tight, baby. Sleep tight. Let's call it a day. Hey, come on along and listen to the lullaby of Broadway, the hidey-high and poop-a-doo, the lullaby of Broadway. The band begins to go to town, and everyone goes crazy. You rock-a-bye your baby round, till everything gets hazy. Hush-a-bye, I'll buy you this and that. You'll hear a daddy saying, and baby goes home to her flat, to sleep all day. Good night, baby. Good night. Milkman's on his way.
Begins to go to town, and everyone goes crazy. You rock-a-bye your baby around, till everything gets hazy. Hush-a-bye, I'll buy you this and that. You hear a daddy saying, and baby goes home to her flat, to sleep all day. Good night, baby. Good night. Milkman's on his way. Sleep tight, baby. Sleep tight. Let's call it a day.
Listen to the lullaby of old
If you're a young actor and all you're involved in is acting class and hanging around with actors and talking about acting and you know, all that angst and crap, and you will end up having a very narrow perspective.
Every second you spend sitting back and waiting for it to happen is one more second that 10 other people are passing you by because they believe in themselves and they're on that street and they're chasing it.
Don't live a boring life, because then you'll be a boring actor. You know, I'm convinced of that.
Be involved, you know. Get into classes, go to EST, you get it around, you know, Atlantic Theater Company. Anywhere you can get involved, get involved.
You're better off working in Little Rock and some theater than you are waiting tables in New York and going to class endlessly.
Don't do this. Do something with your life while you have the chance, where you are really needed.
Even if you're just so-so, if you've really got a great attitude and you're fun to be with and you show up on time and you're committed to whatever the vision is, people will have you back. And if they have you back, you're going to get another chance to learn.
Say it isn't so. Say it isn't so. Everyone is saying you don't love me. Say it isn't so. Everywhere I go, everyone I know.
City Arts continues online. Be sure to visit WNet Station on the web, where you can see all the artists and events we've showcased in the series. Get information on places and players, link to other artists' websites, and read in-depth interviews with fascinating personalities. City Arts on WNet Station. It's 13 online. City Arts is made possible by Dorothy and Louis Coleman and the Lester T. Mertz Charitable Trust. Funding is also provided by Sylvia and Ralph Ablon, the Marilyn M. Simpson Trust, and the Michael and Helen Schaefer Foundation. Additional funding is provided by public funds from the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs through the Cultural Challenge Program and the members of 13.